to see like a classic redneck with like no dog and just like a million cats.
Yeah. It's got to be
it's like a rant. They're out there.
A redneck cat person.
Redneck cat person.
Be like maybe that should be my internet personality. I experimented with doing like content, trying to do the influencer thing, but I was looking for a character.
Oh,
the redneck cat guy.
Yeah, redneck cat guy.
Has anybody done that yet?
Kitty, come here, Kitty. She's so cute.
Like a sleeveless flannel.
Can't stand it. Sorry. I don't know what's offensive or not anymore.
No, it's all pretty good on here. Yeah, you think you'll return to comedy ever?
I think about that a lot. Yeah, and I'll be honest, like I'm totally afraid to do so.
Yeah.
Like I have a lot of insecurity about that.
That's normal, we all do.
Yeah. And I don't know, there's this wall I keep hitting with the actual action of it. I've been, like I've written jokes and formulated them and like edited them and added to them. But all just kind of like by myself, because it's like, I don't know, like I think I did the open mics long enough to the point where like it's just kind of a part of my brain now.
Yeah.
Yeah, whether it's quiet on some days or louder on others.
And you started young too. You were doing it in your 20s. You got it like...
Yeah, I started around...
It's going to be in there.
I started around 23. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I did it like
perfect
twice in college.
Yeah.
Some like random open mics, like whatever. I would like come and crash like a poetry reading,
You'd walk in and they'd see you and they'd be like, he's definitely doing poetry. Yeah. With his tragic trulies. No, jokes. What the fuck? Okay.
Yeah, God, like in college, like I remember when it kind of started, because I started writing in my head in college, and then there was like a poetry reading thing, and like I submitted to like the review or the book, the college book, and it got rejected like every year. And so at this poetry reading, it was kind of open. I was going to read my poetry or my prose. It was more prosy. And I went up there. And so I said, okay, before I read this, I just want to let you know this was rejected from the review. So you have an exit behind you and to your right. And this one dude like totally got it. And he just like laughed his ass off. And I was like, huh. And then I read the poetry thing. And I'm like, I don't think I'm going to read poetry anymore. Like,
I liked it when the guy laughed.
Yeah, exactly.
When I kind of shit on things or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. Because it's like you were saying about the joking about the Trulies. It's like it is a real thing. You're you're kind of laughing at a thing that would be painful in another light.
Yeah.
Like getting rejected from being included.
Right.
That's like.
Right.
I mean, that's mostly what comedy is. We talk about that on here a lot. That's the hardest part to keep going. Is like.
Yeah.
Every week it's like, oh, I didn't get on that show. I mean, it's just like just constantly you're being rejected. So it'll always be like you'll see me be like, look, I'm doing 6 shows, but it's like I got rejected from like 50 shows that I'm not posting about, and that like trying to transform that into jokes or just keep going and not have it destroy you.
Yeah,
it's hard.
I love the self-deprecation stuff, and sometimes I can get like really raunchy with my self-deprecation and like with my as like my metaphors and stuff like that. I can get pretty lewd.
Yeah,
and there came a point where like. I think the last time I ever did comedy, I was on stage and someone from off stage said, "You can't say that." And I was like, all right, I guess it's time that I step away here.
This town though, like this is another theme of this podcast is I go to other places in Asheville. I love doing comedy here, but also it's got their reputation for being very snobby and not welcoming because you go anywhere else. Like an hour any direction, it's like they're saying things far worse than retarded, like so we kind of have this stick up our ass about this that here
this little bubble.
So I kind of like it when people get that comment. I mean, obviously if you're just like a super toxic masculinity, like I mean it can go too far, but that's not your vibe. So I think it's kind of good for there to be people in our scene that are like kind of somebody should be a little upset sometimes. It's a fucking comedy show. In Asheville, where everyone's a woke justice warrior. Like, if somebody's a little upset sometimes, like, what are we doing?
Right, exactly. And sometimes the really harsh, offensive stuff, every now and then there's like this really interesting grain of truth. Because when you're in this role and you're just like going, sometimes something that you don't even ask for will pop in there and be like, oh, that's an interesting metaphor that makes like a more grandiose point that makes us look at our lives.
Yeah. And you got to go through, I mean, it's an open mic. It's a free fucking place to experiment.
Yeah.
So there's that too, where it's like the final version of this joke might not be lewd in that way.
Right.
But I'm fucking around up here. Like,
and thank you for saying the word fuck. Now,
Yeah.
can I say that word? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'll try not to abuse it, but I've been trying to
keep it clean.
Yeah,
PG-13.
I just got to hammer the horns down a little bit, so I can get the halo hovering, but it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
Just
be yourself.
All right.
Just be your lewd
and
evil.
So
self.
I feel some insecurity, about coming back for that, reason mostly. I don't want to be out there like, I don't know. I just don't want to be like that. It's like, here he comes again. You know what I mean? And I think I just have to accept that that's just going to happen eventually, if I do go back, that is, who knows? But
yeah,
it's one of those things where it's so raw. It's like, there's no way that as a comedian you are not talked about. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I'm sure that I get mentioned in threads,
right,
that I'm not on.
Yeah.
And it's not all kind,
and I've heard from other comedians like that I've met in like other towns. It's like, comedy is like one of the most gossipy art forms out there. And that's something that shouldn't matter because you're never going to be able to change it. It's just something that you adapt to. And like, that's part of the shell that you develop in comedy.
Yeah, and the thick skin.
Right, and that also makes you better in the end.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like an acceptance thing. And, I keep like running it in my head of like the acceptance. It's like, what is going to happen is going to happen. But I also have this thing where it's like, I can't stand this phrase, know thy audience. I'm all about reading rooms. That's one thing, but not in applicants to comedy. In comedy, when someone's like, know thy audience, I think that's a way of saying like the customer's always right. And I think that's bullshit.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
It's like, no, how about the audience? Like, they're going to end up figuring out who you are pretty quickly because you're going to be doing your act. And like, that's that.
Yeah. I mean, like Patrice O'Neill said, like he always wants the small percentage of the audience to be upset. Like if if it's 100% people enjoying it, that's not comedy.
Yeah,
but you need somebody to be upset because that tension like is, you don't want them all to hate you, but if like if one table hates you, it's like that's a better show than if they all like you. So, but then I think coming from the songwriter or like that background, maybe we are a little more like, we're not just like we were just talking shit in our fraternities or whatever. It's like no, it's a very vulnerable kind of sensitive. I'm up here like sharing my art from my journal, so. Which is kind of true. So it's like it does hurt,
There is truth to that, for sure. There is.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's like the famous comedians that probably like I get inspired by people regional and locally, but like Louis C.K. or somebody when I was starting, it's like every time you see him performing, that's his audience. They bought a ticket with his name on it. They came for him. He's not. At that point, he's not getting up in front of 50 people who are like, who the fuck even is this guy? so open mics, you have to keep that in mind too. It's like, there's so many different kinds of jokes.
Yeah.
And like some people are just, even if like you're the greatest comedian in the world that you love came in, like people are just, it's a general audience at open mic. Nobody paid. They don't give a shit if it's good.
Right.
It's just really hard. Like it's,
it's
just bad. So much of it's just hard. That's where you start. It's just like the shittiest. I don't know. I guess with music, it's like shitty, but I don't. It's different though. You can still just play your songs. You don't. there's not those awkward silences where they're supposed to laugh and they don't, or somebody like yells something mean at you and you're like, ugh.
Right. Exactly. Like I've only been, out of all the shows I've been to musically, I've only been to one show where a guy has yelled out to a band, "You suck." And it was the opening band for when I went to go see 9 Inch Nails in college.
I knew it was an opening band as soon as you said
like those poor openers, dude. Yeah. No, of course it was.
That's more like open mic comedy when you're the opener. Like, we didn't come for this shit. I don't know who the fuck you are, and I don't want to know. I'm not going to remember either.
Right. And, you know, like you're more apt to get that reaction in comedy than you are, of course, in music. You know, not like necessarily the "you suck," but you know, in my years, I've definitely like had people in the audience like verbalize that's like, "Hey, that's not funny," which like I understand your feeling. But at the same time, I don't like the wording of it because it's like no, because
it's just
like,
one person though.
You
want some
actually,
of that.
No, I do, but that's the great point that I'm about to make is like it is just one person. So why don't they say I don't think that's funny?
Right.
Use an I statement.
Yeah.
For you to be like that's not funny.
Yeah.
I'm speaking for everyone here and the 8 billion outside.
Yeah.
Like no, like take. Like,
just say that next time. That's great.
You know what I mean? Like, put the God complex down. You're not speaking for everyone. Say, I don't think that's funny. Feel how humbling that is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, perfect. You got a perfect
don't.
response for that when it happens. And the 8 billion outside.
Okay, now I'm ready, man. You did it. You helped.
Just remember that. When it happens, you're like, fuck, what did I say on the podcast?
I got to go back. And, what episode was it, Ryan?
Like, I'm 8Xing it back. I'm trying to.
Is it 5 minutes in?
8 billion, but the moment's passed. Like, shit. So next time for sure.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, those are kind of like my initial thoughts, like if I ever were to do it again. But I truly did enjoy it when, you know, when I was like kind of at my peak and I had my like presence down and stuff, I really was enjoying it.
When you were coming out weekly, there is like a muscle memory aspect to it too. Where
there is.
When I take some time off, you're kind of like, ooh,
right,
you just being comfortable up there.
Yeah.
But you can get it back. I mean, you got it in there if you want it. But maybe you don't have to. I mean, if you don't want to, you know, you don't have to subject yourself to.
I wrestle with everything in my life, whether it's something I shouldn't do or something I know like I would want to do. It feels like the same kind of wrestling match that goes up. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like just uncertainty or, you know,
yeah,
like the idea that it's like, God told me to do it, and by God, like I just know, like, you know, what's right, you know. Whereas like life is confusing, and it's often like you do a thing and you're like, maybe I shouldn't have done it that way.
Yeah,
or you just stay home and then you're like, I should have gone out, but now it's too late, like that kind of thing.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
Indecision.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and yeah, it's just kind of like the same wrestling match I find myself with like all kinds of stuff, whether it be like good or bad, or like what I know I enjoy, what I don't enjoy, you know, or like what you said, what's right, you know, and yeah, I
mean that's comedy though. That kind of conflict I think is comedy. So even if you could just be relaxed in that, anxiety on stage, like that's pretty compelling and funny. But then it's like, I don't know, you have to keep going out. It's like cold and dark out and tired, you know. It's like at the end of the day, it's like you go and you're like, when am I going up? And they're like, I don't know. And then you wait like an hour and it's like, what? So it is kind of like, you know, if you could just go up and do it, but it can be exhausting just trying to like, and then the light just comes on immediately, like, fuck.
Right.
That was, I didn't even get to my.
There was a lot, so, yeah, exactly.
Logistically,
and that's like what I tried to include, because you get a lot of emotions just from doing the comedy and like bits just from doing the comedy,
Yeah.
not even your life. Like
Yeah.
you're sitting there for, like you said, like an hour, you're just ruminating, and you might even write new jokes while you're doing that
Definitely.
before you go up and do your
And,
set.
and this
that- yeah.
you're in the room, you're sitting in there with all the other brains, like, you
Yes,
know.
and you feel them.
Yeah, and they're just like, oh God, I hope I'm not as horrible as these fucking narcissists. But you're like, it's kind of like a writing group just being in there. You know what I mean? Like you can just feel the.
It's an invisible
And
writing
Leah
group.
Garth gets up, she's like blah 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 blah, and you're like, fuck, I just gotta like, it's gotta make this weirder. Like it's, you're like you gotta, you know, it's like a feedback loop. You're kind of
Exactly.
devouring what's working and what's not, and then you get to where you're like, you've been doing it for like years and years and years. And there's new comics like, oh, he's been doing it for a while. Let's see how good he is. It's like, I can still, this is a bunch of shit I've never said before.
Yeah.
So there's that
absolutely.
too, where you think like being more senior would be like better, but it's actually like, you know, you can
more to live up to.
Yeah.
kind of
And then
thing.
it's like, well, it's going to be bad a lot of the time still. It's a fucking open mic, you know?
Yeah.
But there's that kind of pressure too, where you're like, there's that tick where you're like, I don't want the new comics to see me suck.
right.
But it's like, but they have to. I can't just do the old
Yeah.
tried and trues, you know.
Interesting.
It's interesting that like, yeah, even like if you've been doing it longer, you're still somebody that it's their third time could still get up and just the stars could align and they could fucking destroy it, and then you
Yeah.
could go up afterwards with 10 years and you could bomb. Like,
right.
it's
true.
can easily and it does happen. You know, like you're not even
Yeah.
guaranteed success.
No.
Which is, I mean, I love that about it, but it's
Yeah.
the anxiety for sure. It's just always there.
Yeah.
Just rattling beneath
It's
the
always pumping.
surface.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, it does keep you humble in that way if you keep investing in it in that light. But yeah. Sorry, I had a point I had when you were talking.
Yeah, we just
we just free fly.
It might come back. It's all
It
just
might come
like
back, you know.
tangents, interrupting, broken half thoughts. It's kind of it's the jam. It's not the songs. It's the jam. You know.
Yeah. Do you mind if
Jamming
I
the words.
crack this cold brew?
No, not at all.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Just let me know what your time constraints are.
Yeah, we're good. We're good for a little while.
Okay, cool.
Are you doing like you still consuming comedy? Like, do you still
Oh yeah, absolutely.
watching
'Cause I
stand?
Sorry.
Oh wait, just have a sip. Take your time. We're in no rush. I'll just yeah. I know you. I don't think you would. You don't have to pretend like you didn't like Louis C.K. or don't, right? Like I know he's someone we both liked a lot when we started out. Like
Yeah,
Do you
well,
still
the
keep-
first time I saw him, just to the background with my relationship to Louis, my mom was she got HBO when I was little, and you know there'd be a time lapse from when I got home and when she got home from work, so I would totally like procrastinate my homework and watch HBO. Because I'm like, this is amazing. There's everything. So the first time I saw Louis C.K. was when he released his show Lucky Louie. This was like 2003, I think, or something like that, or 4, somewhere around that. And I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? This is the zaniest, wildest shit. And I'm like, you know, early teenager, you know, just watching these like raucous situations. And then I revisited him again in high school when he came out with his early specials, and then from then on. So all those impressions, you know, of him really lasted from a very early age of development. And then before Louis, so when I was a small child, I didn't like music. I thought it was very annoying. It was like rattling my brain, and my mom loved listening to music like around the house and in the car, and I would always be like, just turn it off.
what kind of stuff was she playing?
Oh, all kinds of stuff. I mean, she kind of listened to everything, like
You just hated all of it. Not a genre.
yeah,
Music.
just yeah, like I couldn't. I remember not being able to like focus on it as a whole. Like my brain would like beam into one instrument, and then it would get distracted by another, and I didn't know how to place it in my head. So it was really annoying to me, and she was annoyed that I was annoyed. So one day I'm sitting in the living room and she's watching comedy, and I start laughing at this guy. He's talking about adult stuff. I have no idea, but it's the delivery.
Yeah.
And that speaks to how delivery is so important.
Right.
And she's like, you like that? You like, like finally. And I'm like, yeah. So she burns me all this comedy on a CD, gets me a Walkman and headphones. And she's like, when mom listens to music,
whoa,
put this on.
that's crazy.
So she burned me like Eddie Murphy's Delirious and like Robin Williams,
Damn.
some George Carlin bits. This is when LimeWire was a big hit. So
She pirated you.
she pirated me stand up and all these different clips.
That's a cool mom.
And like, yeah,
Your mom, like-
absolutely, very cool mom.
Yeah.
And she, she noticed immediately, like, if you like this, I'm putting it in your ears. And she was on it. And so, yeah, she burnt me all this. And I was just like listening to comedy, like in the car while she was listening. So it's like, that was kind of like my earlier years, exposure to comedy and kind of how I was introduced to it. And I needed that before I could get into music. For some reason, that's just how my brain worked.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's very.
I mean, it is less. I mean, it's just one voice. I mean, that's kind of we were talking about the vulnerability and the anxiety of, like, you're so naked. Like, stand-up's so naked compared to, like, you're wearing a guitar.
Yeah.
And maybe you have other people up with you and there's a set list. And,
Right.
like, you're kind of, like, hiding. You're in this whole fortress of sound and people wearing armor. But, yeah, I mean, just
Wearing
a person,
armor, yeah.
stool, microphone, a person.
Absolutely.
It's kind of interesting. Maybe your brain was like, yeah, it's like one linear wave instead of, like, a wall of sound.
All this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that just describes how like simple-minded I am. Just a simpleton. You simple-minded prick.
No, that's the best shit. I mean, the minimal, like you're talking about, like John Lennon. He didn't know like when he was in a weird time signature or stuff like that. Like he didn't know. Like McCartney, like I think knew a little more about like the technical aspects, but that raw kind of like informal creativity is I usually prefer that, because I think when things get like complicated, you can almost debate all day whether it's good or not.
Yeah.
But when something's simple, you just fucking know. Like you're like,
yes.
It's good or it's like,
yes.
It's just something like it's harder to be simple and profound than it is to be like, use a bunch of fancy words and then who the fuck knows? Like,
Yeah, exactly. Like I love not knowing the technicalities of some things, but at the same time having fun doing that thing.
Yeah.
That's what's great.
I mean, the technicalities came later. Like first people were making sounds and rhythm, and then later somebody was like, here's some bass clef or whatever,
right. We need a language. We need to make this
but the language was
community. You know what I mean?
And this week there's some people that are upset again, so we got to add some more of it's got to become less fun.
We need a 64th note, guys.
Yeah, the whole upsetting people, and I mean that's a really interesting thing, because it's like you can easily. I'm older too, so it's like I can easily sound like I'm some fucking evil Republican, but just being like, we should be allowed to say more shit, Yeah. Like there's so many people that say that same thing that are fucking going around like assaulting people and shit, but I'm just saying like we should be able to say more shit,
Yeah.
But also
I'm on that same wavelength.
And especially like at an open mic. Good.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a free fucking mayhem event that you came to,
right?
And you didn't pay for.
Free mayhem.
Fucking leave. Like, it's like this is it's. That's what's cool
is full
about
of
it.
Exits, guys.
Yeah,
like you know, you don't have to sit there and hate watch.
Yeah, there's 8 billion outside.
It's yeah. It's like we've kind of a lot of us have like abandoned this like idea of like you really can take it or leave it.
Yeah.
In silence too.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like shut up, but I'm saying like it doesn't have to be this whole like orchestra of rejection is what I'm saying. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Just like the things that don't interest you, that you don't like, still have to conform to your. It's like just there's a million things. Like just go. There should be some things that offend you. Like, there should be.
Yeah, absolutely.
There should be some things that offend you.
But those things are way larger in the grand scheme of things and hold a lot more power in just our day-to-day lives that offend me. Not so much someone going on stage and talking into a microphone. Yeah. Not to say that is powerless, but it doesn't hold a candle to some of the greater grand scheme things that, are intrusive into our lives and thus offensive.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're not intrusive. You're deciding to sit there. You could just leave and then poof, no longer intrusive.
Yeah. This is art.
You know what I mean?
That's a stretch, but it's like,
yeah.
It's words. And I noticed like when we started comedy, I don't remember, you remember the coffee shop scandal in town like 10 years ago where there was the Waking Life dudes that
that was
that was like just before Me Too.
That was gnarly.
That was like the first time. And I remember like when that happened, like I noticed that the dudes that when it was just me and another dude and they would say some like sleazy like sleazy guys, those two people that were like that were the ones that stood up first and said, send them to jail, these guys are bad. Right. Like it's like what you're saying publicly, you can still do evil shit. Like if you're getting up in a mic and you're saying things and you're accountable for it and you're trying to navigate, that's actually like a pretty brave place to say some horrible shit. If you're whispering it in the shadows, like it's I don't know what this is. Almost a coherent thought.
No, please, like, please keep going.
If you're gonna say some horrible shit, like I'm saying it in front of everybody, like it's like I'm accountable.
I'm getting it out here.
Yeah, like there's some like I'll always kind of be like, that's maybe there are lines that can be crossed, like if you're getting up like shout, like I wouldn't shout the N-word or what. There is certainly a line, but it's also like I don't mind when people cross the line as long as like they come back and have adjusted a little, I think it's an opportunity to feel that shame and then be like, okay, this room didn't like that,
Yeah.
I'll go to Knoxville, I'll say it. They'll love it. Or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I don't know.
No, and I liked what you were kind of saying there about like, well, I'm saying it here, like, and there's the word that came in, the honesty factor of that too.
Yeah.
It's like I'm kind of letting you into a part of my brain that inaction is still theory, in an, alleged art form or whatever. I still get weird preconceptions about if comedy is art or not. I guess it is. I don't know. But
I can go either way on that too.
Yeah, exactly. It's a wavering scale.
It gets less funny when you call it that.
See, that's actually, that's a good one. Okay, so it's art with capital A.
I like it when somebody else calls my jokes art.
Yeah.
And I go, no. But inside I'm like, that's my favorite.
But yeah, there's that, it's like, I'm just letting you into a window in my mind. You know what I mean? I don't have a podium in front of me and I'm not wearing a suit. If you catch my drift.
Yeah. Totally.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, I don't know.
I have no power. I'm at an open mic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I bought a Coke. I'm like down $4. I waited. I'm gonna respect the light. Like,
right.
I'm not the bad guy.
Yeah, we wish that there was that kind of like understanding. You know what I mean? There needs to be like a comedy Bible or like a book of disclaimers. I'm sure it'd get like updated every year, just like the diagnostic manual for mental illness. But
yeah, there's a guy.
Interesting.
There's a comedian named Aiden Lamb. I don't know if you saw him. I think he's moved on now. He's like a really young guy in his early 20s that was doing stand up here for a minute, and he was like kind of saying things that he was getting like, "Whoa, you're not allowed to come back to this mic,"
Yeah.
But he was hilarious, and like crowds liked him. A lot of us liked him. I think he ended up apologizing and then got to come back to them. But I really enjoyed that he was like, he was just coming out like, he listened to a bunch of wild podcasts and he was just getting up being like, this is comedy. I'm saying this and that. But he still kind of corrected, I think he probably learned like, okay, I shouldn't say that here, but I can go somewhere else and say that. And I was like, yeah, like I mean, there is a silent majority when that one person's like, no. there are a bunch of other people that are like, fuck that person. You know, like most people are like,
yeah.
So like it might feel like
that is comforting.
Even though they think they're speaking for the group, like the group's like, fuck that. I hope
you're ruining the show.
Yeah,
exactly.
If you said the thing that you said on here to that person, I think the room would go crazy. You know?
Yeah.
Interesting. If you destroyed that person?
Destroyed. I have destroyed a few people.
Yeah.
Yeah. My psych major comes in handy when doing that.
Ooh, you got a psych major.
I did a double.
Every crazy person I know.
Yeah, no, it's true. It takes that. It takes that. And so yeah, I double majored in psychology and philosophy, and I like created this specialty class in Friedrich Nietzsche when I was in college, like his personal life and his works and stuff. That if I got enough people to agree to take it, then they would do it as a class. And yeah, that was the peak of my my philosophy career.
Yeah.
But it was so much fun.
That's cool.
And I didn't realize until after I graduated and did, you know, like a real comedy open mic, I was like, oh, okay. I can see some similarities in what I was taught in philosophy, like the formulation of an argument, like even in logic, you know, premise, conclusion. So that sometimes jokes are laid out that way.
Totally.
Or even laid out backwards. You can start with the conclusion and then go backwards with the premises of the examples.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just on a basic level of joke writing. You know?
Yeah, there is logic. Like Carlin would do a lot of those things where it's like you start by making an absurd claim.
Right.
Everyone goes, no. And then you just start logically like kind of by the end you're like, fuck, I guess like
right. It's like, no, but here's the examples. Here's the premise, you know.
You ever think that jokes are like songs? You think there's a lot of overlap?
Yes, yeah. I absolutely do. Mostly because of the delivery aspect of it.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it was actually going back to Carlin saying like, you need to sing when you're up there.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to grab them if you're not singing your jokes.
Vocal variety, pauses.
Yes.
I'm always trying to get more into pauses.
Yeah.
You know?
I
think there's like when it's just quiet for 3 seconds, that can be kind of terrifying, but I always love it when I see somebody just like take a slow sip off the drink. And
I like that too.
Nothing for 3 seconds. Wow.
Right. And it's when there's pauses, that's like the only time where I think to myself like, oh, it's like a one-person play. There's like an intentional beat like there is in like play, you know, like scripts and playwrights and stuff like that.
My mind just races so fast, and like my mouth can't really keep up with my ADHD brain. So I've noticed, like listening back to sets, that a lot of times I'm just not giving them enough time to even laugh or think about what I said. You know, like you're up there and you have 4 minutes and you want to cram all these ideas in, but it's like slowing down.
Yeah,
getting quiet. I think like dynamics are important too. Like I've noticed, I'm trying to like start bits like, hey, you ever notice? And then by the end you're like,
like build
headroom.
Yeah, you know, instead of just start on the runway.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you come out and you're like, have you ever noticed? Then it's like, where do you go? You know, there's all these like musical like rhythm. Yeah, like the musicality. Like melody.
Yeah, you don't want to like start in the Mile High Club. Like we're in the fucking lavatory in the airplane, fucking right now. Like immediately.
It's like it's just like like you can't. Yeah. Where do you go?
And then by the end, you're like sitting out there smoking a cigarette. You're like, what the fuck is this?
Turn on the light.
Yeah.
How much time do I have left? I should have closed with the laboratory thing.
Yeah, exactly. And I believe in that those dynamics too, because there have been times when there's like sets that I obviously don't remember for chemically induced reasons, where I would, start off mile high, and I would just like keep that going for a while. And I remember like, cause I don't remember the actual set, but I remember the feeling of getting off stage and thinking to myself, I think I just like basically yelled at those people. And damn, I feel so sorry for them. You know what I mean? They've just been getting like, you know, that picture of the guy sitting in the chair in like the studio, you know, it looks like he's like being blown back, you know?
I mean, that can work. It's like James Burks does it.
Yeah. But I also
Sam Kinison did it.
My gosh, did he?
Did he just get up and just yell at him?
Yeah, he really did.
He yelled every punchline. I think sometimes he would just start the bed, and then he'd be like, "Punchline!"
Just yeah.
And here goes the premise. Punchline.
Very stabbing punchlines.
Yeah. Never quite got him the way that people are always like. But of course, we all agree the greatest of all, Sam Kinison. It's like,
I don't agree. Sorry.
Was he that good? I don't know.
Yeah, I think that he brought a new energy. But I mean, his writing, you know, it was joke writing.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't something I would fall back on as the greats, you know. Yeah. But he made an impression.
Yeah.
And I think that he inspired some comedians to get off their ass a little bit.
Yeah, I could see that. Like he was like Bill Hicks or something where he kind of like changed the game.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. I think that some comedians that were like already established at that time saw him and were like, "Ooh, I gotta get moving here."
Yeah.
You know? So I think in that way he was also good. And like sometimes like as a comedian you do have to accept that like you're gonna inspire other comedians, and even without them knowing, they might like be taking on some of your energy. And you know, it's maybe they are intending to do it. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt and say that, you know, it's more of just an inspirational thing, and they might just like suck it up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, scenes. It's like
not
music.
Gonna go like Dane Cook fucking level. You know what I mean?
Theft.
Yeah. But
I mean, a scene there should be cross pollination and things happening. But
exactly.
I mean, I guess there is a line where you're like, you know, you're stealing jokes or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's why I still am like watch a lot of comedy, because I want to make sure I'm just not stealing jokes.
I mean, I kind of feel I'm getting more and more like it all just belongs to us, and if anything, like it should be more my stories and my things. Because if it's like, did you notice at the place, the restaurants, how the waiter, like that, even like that's kind of like everybody's, you know what I mean? Like, but if it's like this weird shit happened to me this day in a field when I was a kid, you know, then it's like that's mine. So I almost think that if other people can do it that easily, it's almost like you gotta try to dig and find something that's more unique. It's weird you said that though, because I remember that Carlin did say that about Kinison, that he was like, I saw Kinison and I was like, fuck, I gotta start. He was getting like older, you know, and kind of more senior, and he was like, all right, I need to bring some edgier, like some of that like later Carlin where he's like, the government doesn't care about you.
When he really starts like talking about America.
Right, like Kinison probably like lit a fire under his ass to go in that direction.
Yeah, that would make sense, because I mean he did do it. That was in the 80s when he really did a turning point, right?
Yeah.
What was that? God, what was that last point you were?
Yeah, it's hard. I've thought about.
I think
having
we're both
notes.
ADHD too. So like when you get us both in a room, it's just like, hey, we're gonna like make points like star directional. You know?
Do you walk into rooms like I'm always like socks, pee, water? Like I'm always holding like I took a bunch of tests, you know, a few years ago. Got diagnosed with anxiety, but they run like your various intelligences, and like working memory was like low compared to other things. Like I can do a lot of crazy things with my brain, but just trying to hold like a few numbers in my mind, and then like listen, like I can't. So I think that contributes to a lot of like wanting to just blurt something out or interrupt somebody. Like I'm always afraid I'm gonna. I guess some people can just hold a thing in their mind while other things are happening, and it stays there. But I'm like always looking for paper or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you've got like an eternal list going in your head.
Yeah,
it's just.
But it can only be 4 things long, because if I add a 5th, like the one gets popped off the list.
Yeah.
So
it's like get in line.
Yeah.
Get in line post-it notes.
But then when you're having real fun, like free-form conversations, and there's all kinds of things, you're like, and you're like, oh, let's put a pin in that. And then the person finishes, you're like, fuck, I had something good.
Yeah.
Now it's gone.
I do see, And like what you said there makes me think of like how I am at work sometimes, because I'm in like such a flow at work where I know I need to be focused. And so like that part of my brain is going, and I just kind of like let shit fall out of my face. And, like currently like my coworkers, bless them, they are my audience right now.
Yeah.
And a few of them have asked me like, are you going to go back to comedy? Like, because we're tired of being your guinea pigs.
That started so nice. That sentence started. We all feel like you have to go back. Oh, thank you. No, because.
No, they didn't say that last part. I've just,
I
feel like I can be like exhausting sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you do it. That's what comedians are. I mean, my wife is like, you gotta go talk to them. You gotta go talk at them because I can't hear this shit anymore. Like that's a real thing. It's like she wants me out here
such a great
talking
dynamic.
to you guys. Yeah, it gets to be a lot.
Right.
Even though I might not scan that way, like out at comedy, because there's so many like big personalities. Like Hillary's there, and I'm just like real quiet.
Yeah.
At home, I can be like fucking the ADHD annoying kid. You know? So comedy's a nice vessel. But yeah, I mean, Cody Hughes wanted to hear you on the podcast, so.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting.
You have not been forgotten. People are interested in your perspective,
and I appreciate that.
You have some kind of magnetism or charisma.
I appreciate that. Thank you. As much as I do feel awkward in my own body and existence most of the time.
Yeah,
and
that's comedy, though.
Yeah,
that's comedy.
And I love. This is a point that I now remember. I love when the audience is laughing at me, because I hope that as I'm telling jokes, I look like a broken person. You know what I mean? And I don't think it should be lost in comedy for the audience to feel okay looking at someone crumbling before their eyes,
Yeah.
Because that's kind of how I feel, in the most euphoric way possible when I do go on stage, if that makes sense.
Totally. And everybody, I mean, that's what every Russian novel's about.
Yeah.
It's like that's like to see that sketch.
Right.
I mean, there's different ways to do it, but I mean, that's kind of more what we want to see than like the guy in the suit being like, did you ever notice? I mean, that's
I can't get into a guy in a suit doing comedy.
Yeah.
I've tried. I've really tried. But yeah, like
who is the best suit comic? I can't even.
There was one time Louis did it in a suit.
Yeah,
it was right
still
funny.
He got canceled.
But yeah, exactly.
He was trying. He was like
my
why is he wearing his suit? What's he hiding? He seems like something is.
He's getting Nixon on us. I don't know. But
did you hear the Theo Von podcast he just did?
No,
he was just on in the last few weeks. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah,
he wrote a book, so he was on there, and he gave like a really sincere apology for it, which he's not done before, and everybody's been upset. He's like, I abused my power. I'm very sorry. I guess.
What was the incident?
That Louis got canceled for?
Wait, what?
Wait, okay, Louis, got canceled like 8 years ago.
Okay,
but he apologized for that. I was like,
so Louis was on Theo Von's podcast.
Yeah, in the last few weeks.
Okay, sorry, I missed the reference that Louis was present on the podcast.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, but he was just on. You should just listen to it. It's interesting. I guess they're in some like what's it called? Sex Love Anonymous. They're in some.
Okay.
It's like AA, but for like.
Yeah, like sex stuff.
Yeah, like sex addiction or whatever.
Yeah.
And he actually gave like a real sincere apology, which is what everybody wants. I don't know if they'll ever clip that or it'll ever like get out. I think people might just want to stay hating him. I don't know if it matters anyway, but it was just interesting. It's worth listening to because he's a very
right.
I have a lot of conflicts about him because I think
I do too.
I think but I think his writing, like as far as like songwriting goes, like Nirvana or the Beatles or whatever, I think that his material is of a very high quality. His body of work is like...
Yeah, I mean, it's down in kind of like the classic rock age of definitely like our bracket of comedy.
Yeah.
But no, I'm in the same boat. And it's just like, it's hard because it was just so much part of our history. And also, you can't help but toss around the idea of degrees of badness instead of like bracketing every little thing to every huge bad thing in the same area.
Good and evil.
You can't help but consider like, okay, what's the degree upon like after a certain amount of time where forgiveness might be able to be a feasible action.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm still wrestling with what does that even look like?
Yeah. And what and like does, apologizing sincerely help? Like, can you accelerate that? Like there's the equation is like time, how bad the shit you did was to how many people, and then also like did you show remorse and apologize? I think there's a lot of like it's complicated,
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Could Cosby be like, look, I'm really sorry. It's like
no,
like
fuck no.
Yeah, like Weinstein's like, look, I'm sorry. All right, let him out. Let him out. We do need some more good movies.
Yeah, exactly. See, because that's the thing. Like those are like definite. It's like, dude, you're not coming back.
Yeah.
And then like there's these like varying little degrees that that are just like hard, but and it's like I also feel like it's just not my place to even decide what that looks like.
That's how I feel.
I just have to hang back and see how it evolves.
Like the person
really not my place.
in the audience that goes, whatever they said, you shouldn't have said that. Like I've never felt like I'm the authority on anything moral. I'm just barely trying to keep my own stuff going. But I mean, like I can't watch the Cosby Show because there is like a level where it is like feels like pure evil. There's just a lot of
it's still
planning.
on. It's still somewhere.
I don't know.
Oh my god,
that's a good question.
Sorry, when you said that, I was like, were you trying? Like,
I mean, yeah, maybe. But like Michael Jackson, like I still enjoy the music. Like I can separate. Like, I mean, I don't know. I haven't watched a Woody Allen movie, but like they were so good. Like, I mean, it's like, don't we need the art? I mean, when somebody's that fucking good. Like, I mean, Woody is like somebody that just the way he made those movies, like the minimal kind of, I make them wrong, I make them quick, I make them, like, that's my favorite kind of art. Yeah. And then you're like, if he's in it, you're like, now I got to look at him. That makes it harder.
Right.
But
and
MJ,
that was a tough one too, but at the same time, that is unforgivable. Like he's kind of lumped in there with the Weinstein.
He's on the Weinstein Cosby team.
Yeah. He's
Hitler.
And not to contradict myself about the bracketing that I mentioned earlier, but
there's a point of no return.
There is a point of no return that I feel comfortable being like, I think I can say that. And I haven't watched a Woody Allen film like since all that came out, because I did really, sternly believe like, it's like, sorry, Woody, I'm out. But I did enjoy it while it was coming out, and I was clueless. I was a clueless, fan.
But if you were to go back and find out everything that like Leonardo da Vinci did. You know what I mean?
Dang, yeah.
Like, I mean, maybe not him, but like a lot of them would have done horrible stuff. It's just like there's kind of more, and a lot of the ones that haven't been canceled are probably like, but there's a lot of hush money going around.
Oh yeah.
So
these aren't like just recent of it. It's like, hey, social media's out. Let's start doing horrible things so we can get caught.
Yeah, right.
It didn't work that way.
So it's like if you don't find out, so I don't know. So like I think we need like the art can still inspire. But yeah, I don't know. It depends on what the art is too. If it's you, but I mean, for some reason, Michael Jackson, like I don't know, like horrible acts were done. But
that's true.
But I look at that when he was like just a little boy, and like he was like had so much music in him, and then like God knows he was like run through the grinder of fame, and like what horrible things.
Yeah, and his dad
happened to him. Yeah, and he
like stripped his childhood from him, and that's why he ended up liking little boys, because he was attracted to their childhood that he never had.
Yeah.
But then he ended up doing the same thing to them, stripping their childhood in a traumatic sense. Probably far more so than his dad, but kind of kept that train going, like psychologically speaking. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but at least they were molested by a famous guy.
Oh gosh, yeah. Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
No, like, shit. What the? It'll come back to me.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
The camera just went off again. I don't know.
Okay, that's cool.
Should we just wrap it up on that?
Yeah, we can wrap it up.
We hit our time, so
cool.
Come back on, and then we can do that thought.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for doing it.
Yeah. No,
great.
absolutely. I had a lot of fun. I'd like to come and do this again.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed
Anytime.
our rapport, and I'm sure that this could, just be like the first sentence to, a few good like paragraphs of thought. If that makes sense.
I think I mean, I've found that it helps my stand up. We're holding microphones.
Yeah.
We're like being silly, but also you don't have to be funny. You can be like serious, and
right.
I think it's like a good. It counts as stand up a little bit.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
You're holding a mic.
It does.
Yeah.
So no, and maybe this, it's a good like warm up for future thinking about it. And I wish the camera was on because I'd look right at it and be like, everybody,
he's looking at
I
the
just
camera.
want to give a sincere apology for anything I said on stage that might have been offensive or hurt your feelings. And I'll try harder next time if there is one.
All right. That sounds great. All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ryan.
Bye-bye.
Appreciate it. Bye.
Sorry about the camera cutting out there at the end, y'all. I need to get a new camera. There's no ads on this podcast. We do it on a very minimal budget. There's actually a whole first part of my conversation with Baby George where the camera crashed out, but we saved the audio. So I'm going to tack that on the end here. So what you're about to hear is the first 30 minutes that we talked. It's a little memento out of order situation. So I'll just throw up a thumbnail of me and him smiling, and yeah, stick around. If you're listening to this on audio, you won't even notice. But if you're watching it on video, there's the explanation. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Love you. Bye. Yeah, I just start recording, but then I chop the beginning off. It's just kind of like I like to get rolling right away. So there's not that moment of like, now we're recording.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I've kind of modeled some of this after your whatever garage place,
Dude, acoustic paneling, it really does the trick. I actually, when I moved out of that house, I stripped like 3/4 of that paneling, and I traveled with it to my new room.
Yeah.
And because in my new room, it's an older house, walls are thin, whatnot. And I padded about half of my room, even though I'm not like recording in there. It's more just like living padding.
It changes the vibe. Like when I first built this shed, it's like a shed in a box. It was like horrible. It was just like this echoey.
Yes.
And then even not just music, but just hanging out, like heavy curtains and like rugs, and it's like living padding. It just changes the vibe somehow.
Yeah, it does. It cosifies it.
Cosifies. Yeah, it's funny because I've told people before that like I always liked roomy sounds. Like I've always kind of recorded with far away drum sounds and used natural reverb. But then when I was playing with you, I remember one time you were like, having a really dry sound, a really dry room actually kind of helps you focus more on the sound that you're getting.
It does.
And I've like said that to people since then. You kind of helped me kind of flip that where I was going full wet for like 30 years, but now I'm actually trying to get more.
Trying to get that towel out.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and it does. Yeah, and like thanks for reminding me of that, and I appreciate that you held on to that, because it does help you kind of just like pick out those tiny little things that do get drowned out from some of those like natural reverbs, which are great, when needed. But yeah, I see
feel like I was kind of hiding behind it, or it's like it's good to switch it up. Like I always liked the 60s, like early 60s, like just a room bleed. But now I'm actually trying to kind of get more like focused sounds.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, absolutely.
Are you doing any music? Are you writing or recording or?
No, I mean like since since the big dry run.
Is that when I was playing with you? Is that the big dry run, or is that
no?
when you
I
got
was very
sober?
wet then. If we're talking about dry and wet sounds, we can also
expand that
expand that to ethanol. But no, I was as you know. I mean, you saw me drinking, Trulies. I was slamming those Trulies during our practice when we were playing, and but yeah, since then, after I put that down, I haven't really found myself too like creatively driven as much. Less, more inhibition is basically what it is. Like all of that was so uninhibited. Like, how those like artists, they're like, yeah, so writing this album, we wrote like 50 songs, boiled it down to 12. You know how it is. I'm like, I don't know how that is. Like every song I've written, I'm like, let's just do that.
Yeah.
There was no like, I think I'm just going to put a pin in that and like whatever. There was no pins. It was just like full on pins out grenade,
It was a lot though. I mean, the Loud Invisible catalog it's like at least probably it's like 100 songs or something, right? It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, I never
box set count is.
I don't either, really.
But there are no rarities or B-sides. Is what you're saying. Like every single thing is on Spotify.
Every single thing. There is no like stumbling upon my Ableton and being like, oh, I forgot about that. No.
I mean, that's kind of cool in a way too. Is like finish the shit and put it out. You don't need to have like commit. It's like farm to table. Like, idea to Spotify.
I like that, farm to table. But yeah, no, and it was a really cool time. I don't know if I'm gonna pick it up again. I mean, I got like in the past 2 years, I got really attracted to bass more and fiddling around with that. Like I've laid down some bass tracks, with just like a simple BPM, but that's the extent of it. I'll put it down and listen to it and be like, oh, that would be a good song. But man, I really want Ice Cream. Ooh, True Crime.
Distracted.
That's like my creative process at this point when it comes to music. So I haven't, given myself the full force of it.
Is that how it went before the wet times of yesterday? Like, would you take time off, or is just your creative juices kind of ebb and flow over the decades, or do you?
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't as much time in between before. I don't know, like I would really just ride with the initial writing of the song like as much as I could and just like squeeze as much out of it. And then I would like go back to it pretty much within, I'd say like 2-week period max until I felt really good about it. Lyrics were definitely a last minute thing.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, like, so as you know, like I recorded with Mike Luciano, who great musician. I mean, like very skilled multi-instrumentalist, great recording artist, sound engineer. I mean, that dude can pretty much do it all. I'm surprised he's not in like more projects and stuff like that.
Yeah, I enjoyed playing with him.
Yeah, like professional by all means, instrumentalist. So when we were recording, I would come in with like my case of beer. And maybe I'd have like half a verse written in a chorus. And then like while we recorded the song itself, I would just be like, all right, I guess it's time to finish the lyrics on this song. Like what rhymes with so-and-so?
Yeah.
Or I just like look back in my, notebooks or something. I just like, a large part of it was too, like it was, I was lazy.
I think that's kind of typical though. I listen to a lot of songwriting podcasts and such. Like that's how Kurt allegedly did it, is he just like the day it was recorded, it was like I gotta write some shit down and then it's done, but he's kind of been just yelling different shit. Or like at first it was just sounds, like it wouldn't even be words, and then it would be like, oh shit, we're recording this, so you'd have to like but you still kind of like you gotten familiar with the song, so it's like this sprint to the finish line where you like fill in the sounds with words.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it counts. I think it's fine. You need sometimes you need like a deadline to finish it off.
Right, exactly. And you don't, especially with any form of art, you don't know the deadline until it's happening.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder how many painters were like, okay, so the exhibit's today, like, shit, I'm going to put the last brush strokes on this.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll dry before it gets to the museum.
Yeah.
Or the gallery, sorry.
Yeah, I guess you don't go straight to the museum, do you? I wouldn't have even
Give
got
it
that.
some time, you know, you got to be 6 feet under for quite a while until it gets there.
That's a good question. Can you be... You can still be alive. You could be old and alive in a museum, or do you have to be dead? It's kind of an interesting semantic point there.
But yeah, I definitely fall under the kind of like pressure cooker writing style for sure.
How does like before you're actually like recording it? I mean, are you like just stitching together voice memos, or do you actually sit down and like do you kind of live with the song for a few weeks and play it a little each day, or does it kind of tumble out and like quick in one session? How do you tend to get what you bring into the recording session before you do the final lyrics?
No, that's a good question. I guess not to sound too vague, but like the initial idea of the song definitely comes out within the first like 20 to 30 minutes. And then
acoustic guitar, just electric guitar, just or just walking around humming.
Usually it would be like electric guitar unplugged. Most of the time, unless like, you know, when I was living at that house near the nature center, if I had the house to myself, I would usually use an acoustic guitar, because acoustic guitars, especially if you're like mostly focused on rhythm, are great for writing songs. But yeah, I mean, looking back, a lot of it was just kind of like me messing around on my electric, you know. For also consideration factors. You don't want to be like
roommates.
The loud dude. Yeah.
I mean, that's what's nice about this shed is it's the first time in my life I've had space to.
Yeah.
They can be home and I can be out here.
Right.
Just being weird.
Yeah.
Because I don't like people to hear me when I'm like singing something for the first time. It's just too vulnerable.
Yeah.
Even
way too
the last time, still, that's hard.
Yeah.
Singing for people is just kind of hard.
It is. And I mean, like, I wouldn't. You know, I'm not trying to be like, hey man, like, but I wouldn't consider myself a singer. Like, I just did it because I had the lyrics and I couldn't really find anyone else to do it, you know? So I'm like, to hell with it. I'll do it, you know? Yeah. And
you got a great voice though. Kind of a punky kind of.
I think the best album we did was our last one. Yeah. That was kind of like our peak in like how we like kind of found our thing. And it was the fastest album we recorded. It was also like, I think like 10 songs, 23 minutes.
Yeah.
You know
I remember.
I mean? It was just like an in and out job. And
a lot of just weird like numbers of measures and chop beats and stuff too. There's a lot of just odd. It wasn't like, 4, 8, 16. Yeah. There's a lot of like 7.5. You know what I mean? A lot of prime numbers and decimals.
And I'm like, I'm so not a music theory guy. I'm like, I'm horrible at that stuff. So, that's another like thing about the kind of sporadic nature of like when I sit down with stuff. But yeah, no, it was the easiest because what I did, so, also I think it was the easiest and greatest to record because it was, I mean, this is a bad fault because it was COVID.
Yeah, sure.
But, I had the space and my roommates had moved out because they're like, we're going to go like to a more, I don't know, supportive atmosphere or something.
Yeah, like a southern place where they don't give a shit about COVID.
Yeah, exactly.
Woke ass Asheville, where you get.
It's like we need to go to a place where this doesn't
masks.
exist, at least mentally.
Yeah. In hindsight, I think that was a pretty good strategy because COVID is just in every room forever anyway. Like you might as well have just. Yeah. I like washed my groceries.
It's like microplastics. I have COVID in my balls, but I'm good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I had the house to myself for like 2 months, like this 3-bedroom house. You've been there with like the back room studio. So I pumped out the rhythm and vocals for that in that time. And once I did that, I recorded the rhythm on Ableton, and then I just put leads over it, put bass over it. And then
Click track?
Yeah. Just click track.
Yeah.
Like
no drums
I'm
though to
so,
start with.
Well, and this is see, I'm so like not technical. I'm sounding stupid as I'm saying that I am not smart with like recording stuff.
The word technical, you're like, I don't even know that word. I'm not tech.
I'm not tech at all. Like I recorded the drum beat from my keyboard through an amp onto Ableton.
Oh yeah.
In being like, yeah, this is how you do it. Like that's
great,
how
though.
dumb I.
No,
like,
I mean that's
so like
minimal. That's
when you
fine.
could literally go into Ableton and like grab like a pre-recorded beat and drag it.
Yeah, but that's hidden within the spaceship dashboard, like 19 clicks. Like
right,
it's like a button on a keyboard and a chord. I mean, it's kind of beautiful in a way. It's like it goes in the jack.
Right. Yeah. No, I kind of just did it that way. And I did all that stuff, and I told Mike, I was like, hey man, I got some new stuff. And he's like, yeah, I'm down. And like at that point I was like so apologetic because like he had helped me with so much stuff. And I was like, but yeah, so I got a roommate, and then I got to dog sit for my parents, and I went to their house and I recorded the vocals in their bathroom, like over the span of like I think 4 or 5 days, something like that.
Yeah.
And then brought it to Mike.
There's still still just the drums from the keyboard.
No. So I brought it to Mike. I was like, I can't have these. Like he like programmed the drums, and we kind of worked on like certain hits and stuff like that, and where those would be. And he polished up the sound. Like he did his magic. He's Magic Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, and and then after that, I kind of like started going down like the darker side of being wet all the time. And like I sold like my instrument, I sold my guitar, I sold my, like my Fender Deluxe, tube amp, and drum set and stuff like that.
Like for heroin or something? Like what? For booze? Like for hard seltzer? Like I've never heard of anyone selling all their shit for black raspberry foo-foo juice.
No, and that's like, I know it like makes it like so much more funny and sad at the same time, but that's what I mean. Like I love it when people laugh at me, you know what I mean? Like in that sense, because that like, that's why I love comedy. Cause like that right there, that's hilarious that I would do that, because it was also a mixture of like, I'm not a musician anymore. Like
okay, you were like done with being that guy. So
because I also felt guilt that we all stopped like playing together, because I knew it was because of me. I knew it's because I just really started falling.
Could have confirmed that. So.
Yes, we'll confirm.
But I mean, we started playing together because of you too. But we definitely ended playing together.
Yeah, no, I really ran that thing into the ground. I don't,
It was a magical like 5 months or whatever. I just got my drum set and got it in. I was like, I'm done being a singer. I'm like old and bald. I want to be a drummer. Yeah. That was such a fun, just hitting them really hard and playing those songs was really fun.
Yeah, no, and you were great. You were like
tight,
right
surfy, punky stuff. I've played with a lot of people since then, but that was like the perfect first thing, just to go as Dave Grohl as you can on it.
Yeah, dude.
It was great.
No, it was so fun.
So I enjoyed it. I mean, I have no regrets about it.
I did too. I started hitting my peak when we started doing that.
Peak of wetness.
Yeah, peak of wetness. I guess that's what we'll be calling.
I like this metaphor how it's both reverb and. Actually, the sound was dry.
Yeah, right.
The breath.
It's see some artists play for what they want, so that's maybe where I was coming from. But yeah, I was hitting my peak, and I was just like falling in love more with alcohol than anything else. Nothing else really mattered, including the music I was doing. So I was like, why even have these instruments? Might as well sell them for a 30-pack of Truly. And like maybe, like add it to rent or something like that.
Yeah.
Which I did.
Stealing the TV to buy some Zima. What are you in for? Fucking heroin, meth. There's these strawberry
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That was a wild time, but it was so fun to play those songs.
I don't know if you've ever been interested in hearing a recording, but I know you might not even want to hear it, but I was making phone recordings in the window, so I got one
I remember that
at the end. So it's the whole album, like where it was, the way we played it. I mean, it's like, it's a phone recording, but it sounds pretty good. I mean, it's a good like Polaroid of the whole set live. So I've listened to it a lot since then. Just cool. Every 6 months I'll be like, let's I like to kind of scrapbook things.
Yeah, I'd totally be interested.
To me, it was kind of worth it just for that, just to be like, they were really hard songs. They were really so fucking fast.
Yeah,
and
they were.
I remember just always like just feeling like at any moment I could just lose it. But
I saw it in your eyes too. You were like trying to like beam in with me to be like, I'm gonna make sure that I am not off point here.
Yeah, it always felt like
great.
It was about to fall apart. But
yeah,
that was. I mean, and I had just quit drinking. Like I think I quit drinking maybe during that time.
You did.
I mean, I don't even think that was because I
inspired you.
Maybe subconsciously.
Like,
I hadn't even thought of that.
There's no way I'm gonna be like this dude. Yeah.
Well, I'm like 10 years older, so I'm like I was drinking like heavily through COVID. Like for me it was like 25 plus years of just like never hitting a rock bottom, but just kind of more and more and more. Cyclobin, just like I was just doing only vodka towards the end, just like only. That's all I wanted. Was like neat, just cold, neat vodka. Like fuck the IPAs, fuck the whiskey. But then when I finally removed it, that's when I started the podcast and started like filming my sets and trying to get more. Like I had all this energy that I could put into other stuff instead of like scheming and calculating, keeping my booze on just barely under control.
Right.
That was like actually pretty taxing.
It is. It's a lot of mental energy.
It's exhausting just to keep doing it and not.
Right, and the hiding too.
Yeah, right.
The hiding.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and the hiding gets harder, and then like when people actually see like the pile of empty Truly cans. You're like, oh, I see it in your face now. Like it's an actual reflection of like where I'm at in life.
Yeah. Yeah.
As hard as it is, but you do need those moments for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. The shame can be effective if you use it. I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
Shame is a tool.
In a shameless world, there are certain corners of life where, it can be used correctly.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess like back on a musical note, that's kind of like where I am right now, just kind of like fiddling around with bass.
You ever want to come over and jam, dude? I got the bass amp and a bass.
No, I would. I mean,
I'm kind of just making weird sounds. I'm not really like trying to play out or anything, doing comedy and that, but I do like making sounds.
Yeah.
I mostly just play along to stuff. Like I put on stuff and just play along to it.
Oh, that's cool.
I do this thing where I put on like an album I love and I just like play along with whatever, like In Utero or just something I know really well, I grew up with, and then I go into bed and I lie down and I listen to just the drums, and I like lie on my back with an acoustic guitar and just play other stuff over it. And it's kind of like I don't have anybody to jam with, I can sort of jam with myself. That way, you know what I mean?
That's cool.
Because you can steal drums from a song and write a new song on it, and you'd never know. You'd never know where the drums came from.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Just stem it up.
Yeah.
You know?
Just stem away.
Stem away. No, I like that concept. I've never really done that before, but I mean, I imagine it helps with getting you on point, even when you do like play with somebody else too. It can help you just kind of like latch on to an idea like way quicker, kind of like you did with my stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that was fun. I mean, I love doing that. I've always been really good. I've always played along with covers and stuff.
Yeah.
That's do you do that? Do you like play along with stuff? I know we played a few covers. Wake, Bake, Skate. That was a good one.
Oh, Wake, Bake, Skate was fun. That talk about a high energy fast song. I think it's like it runs like a minute and a half.
Yeah.
And those lyrics are just like spitfire, Yeah, no, and like Fiddler's a great band still, I think, I mean, they really just kind of hold true to their sound, I think. And yeah, they're like silly, and sometimes gross, but if they put out a new album, like I'm going to give it a listen, But, those first 2 to 3 albums like were I mean, they were a big part of a certain time. Because it was very descriptive of like where I was at.
Oh, in your life, yeah, for sure,
absolutely.
What was that, like 2000s or 2010s?
Yeah, like the first album I heard was like I think like 2000. Yeah, I think it was like 2011, 2012 is when their first one came out.
Yeah.
And I was in like senior year of college, and I was like just discovering alcohol too.
Yeah.
I was drinking. I was just discovering it.
So that's kind of late, actually. You weren't like boozing it up in high school.
I was not.
Interesting.
No, I think I drank like twice in high school.
Same for me, actually, once before high school. It just slowly became a problem.
Yeah, and that's how it does it. Yeah. It's a little creeper.
Sometimes the people that get way too out of control in high school pull it together because they're like 19 and they're in the emergency room like, fuck, I better quit. And then they have like no problems.
It's like, I have my own firm now.
Yeah, right. And it's like, man, I should have done that. Should have just like,
it's like, damn it, Billy.
Yeah, but it just slowly becomes a problem with age.
It does. It does. And, because it's like you gain, depending on who you are, you gain more regret as you get older. There's more to like look back on.
Yeah.
And that's not always great. That's why like I can't smoke weed anymore.
Yeah.
That's just no way, because I'll smoke weed and then think of like something dumb I said in like the 3rd grade, or like someone's feelings I hurt, and I'm like, and I'll just ruminate for like 30 to 45 minutes, which really feels like 2 hours.
For sure.
I'm like, I'm horrible. I'm the worst person, and I just like crawl up, and I'm like, and wait until I get the munchies to distract myself from stuff.
And the
like
person that you feel like you hurt probably doesn't even remember that it happened at all.
Exactly.
Just, doing that.
I've done that in real life, where I've seen someone that I've seen years later, like walking on the street visiting for the holidays. I'm like, I'm so sorry I did this one thing. And they're like,
who are you again?
Did? You did? And I'm like, I feel
I'm the
really
guy
bad
that ruined your life. Like, I loom over you in your dreams. You're like, Riley, I don't remember you.
Yeah.
No, I was there.
I
scarred you forever. I'm sorry.
I don't know what that says about me, but it can be kind of scary. So that's why I put down weed.
Is that when you started writing? When did you start writing songs? Like, was that around that time too? Senior year of college?
Started writing songs?
Yeah.
Oh.
You got like a whole bunch of bad ones from high school? Or?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did like a small EP on this little Tascam, like
cassette or digital?
Digital CD.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, you could like burn CDs on it and stuff.
Damn.
And I remember like working over a summer and like saving up for this thing. And I recorded I had, again, like I do now, know nothing about like the sound engineering concept. So I just kind of like raw recorded it through like one microphone. And I made this like crappy little thing. And I called it Sappy Songs for Our Country.
You still have it?
I think my mom does.
It's not on Bandcamp.
No,
We can't link it in the description
No.
below. I love the early shit. I love to go back and I've talked to several people on here. There's a guy that was like a few years older than me in high school, and he was in a band that was awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that shit you put out, when you were 16.
Yeah.
So that meant a lot to me. That got me. And he's just like, please don't ever mention that, But I like people's early.
Yeah.
I think it's very interesting before the voice is even fully formed.
Yeah.
You can sort of see pieces of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you can see it's fun to see the growth for sure. And yeah, no, that was kind of like, whoa. It was very like wispy. I think I was listening to like a lot of like Death Cab, Elliott Smith, and Bright Eyes, and I think you could like see it through that.
Yeah. Never went down the Death Cab thing. No problems with Bright Eyes and Elliott Smith. Good Lord.
Yeah, like I was one of those dudes who was like really into their like first few albums. Like the Photo album, I was like really into in high school, and Transatlanticism. Yeah. And then when Plans came out, it's like okay, they're starting to polish up and stuff. Like they're still good, but I was more into like their like you were mentioning like their early stuff.
Yeah.
It is really great and interesting.
I love those. The early Elliott Smith, like he did the first ones all on cassette 4 tracks.
Yeah.
And then I think by like EXO or either or he's like on a 8-track. I've got one somewhere. It's not in here, but it's interesting to see the way he grew. But I love his first ones where it's like 2 acoustic guitars and 2 vocals.
Yeah.
And that's it. But he makes it sound like a fucking
he does
orchestra's worth of ideas.
Yeah, absolutely. I always revisit him every now and then.
Yeah, and those early Bright Eyes records. I mean,
yes,
I could hear some of that in like Bee Sting and stuff. Some of the Bright Eyes. He's like on a string. Yeah, some of those Bright Eyes songs I think are the best recordings.
Yeah,
the 2000s.
Absolutely. And
tragic white boy stuff.
I mean, his formulation of lyrics. I mean, at that time for sure was like, whoa, okay,
yeah, so literary.
I'm hooked onto the next lyric. I'm not just kind of like listening to the song of course I'm listening to the song as a whole, but the lyrics make it so much like this where I'm like hooked on each line to where it's like it's not even a hole anymore. I'm like in there like waiting for that next thing. And I think, and this is going to kind of, he's not so much known for this, but one of my favorite albums from Bright Eyes is Digital Ash and a Digital Urn.
Oh yeah, see, that came out like the same time as Wide Awake.
It did.
So
he kind of did this double album thing.
I never listened to that one because Wide Awake just fucking broke my heart. Like I listened to that one.
It's a
so
classic.
Many times, yeah.
It's a classic of those.
I should go back
times,
and
for sure.
check out because that one's all more like
it is
robots,
it's like more electric. It's more electric and
he's
stuff.
Like,
and he's
like Terminator robots. And it'd be like, whoa! And there's like one gorgeous acoustic one. I was like, I'll come back to this later, but I never did.
Yeah, exactly.
But now I'm going to.
No, you should definitely check it out. It's a good set of songs. It's definitely not like him,